Because your community is like a government. What can you do to uplift your community? What can you do to add more to the growth of your community? What are the things you want to create to your community that other people will emulate, benefit, and stuff that will grow and develop your community and make you one important person in your community? Many people cannot go back home to establish business. Why? Because of criticism they will receive. Because of condemnation they will receive.
And most recently because of kidnapping.
Not only kidnapping, what is kidnapping? It's joblessness.
Listen, I'm supporting you, sir.
Yeah, kidnapping is joblessness. What causes kidnapping in the first instance? Largely of it will amount to joblessness. Somebody, your says, or what you would delay. Only Shuma Yellow, not in Rure, man so see. But if we get everybody busy, all hands is busy, nobody will want to go and do anything to endanger the life of other people. You can do 2 jobs in America, 3 jobs in America, and you make money from it. But over here, for them knowing you have 1 job, they don't want to offer you the 2nd job. The only thing they will do is to regulate. I want you for this job from 6 to 6 in the morning. If you can do it, give the job to the person. Don't care about what he does with his time between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. before he comes for your own at 6. Care less about what other jobs he does. So long he is not endangering your own job. Let that be first. So if we have 2 jobs, somebody work somewhere in the morning and work somewhere else at night. So long he's not going to be sleeping at work. Give him the job. Then all of us will get busy and there won't be threat to life again. Or even family that will say, no, I don't want trouble. I don't want my children to go and face hardship out in there. Sit down, you shall complain. And I have my room, sleep, eat, don't worry. All this job I'm doing it for you. I will labor for you. Some family are like that. And they forget to tell their children they borrow money from financial institutions. They have to repay back with interest. And when they have too much accumulative interest, they could not pay the money, both the one they owe and the interest. They lose the building they are promising their children. Don't worry. All these vices we brought into our life. Those ones that establish business in the real sense of it, are they stupid? They are not. Somewhere they got the money from. Either they borrowed the money. Look at those expatriates that come to establish business in our country. The Chinese, the Indians. They are here to do business. Who knows what they do before they can bring money down here to establish business? Maybe their own property back home, they sold it or put it somewhere to borrow money and bring the money to do more business here to enable them make more money. So all these problems we create for ourselves is now rebound to us. When we were small boys, they will give us just rice or a banana and they put meat inside the plate and place it in the middle like this. When we finish, they will not share it to us. You dare not take 2 if they don't give you 2. You dare not. They're nothing more late. But life is not more, it's not like that anymore. Everybody these days wants to do things the way they feel. Leave me and let me do my own. And that's where we find ourselves today. We cannot correct it again. Either we like it or not. Crime will live with us for the rest of our life. The only way crime can stop, somebody will first of all do crime. When you get money to a certain extent, you feel to yourself like, I want to pull out. I don't want to do this shit no more. Until then, don't preach about good governance to someone that doesn't have money, that never owns land, that never owns car. He will tell you, I will stop crime when I have money to buy a car. And when I have money to build my own house. Oh, let me go there and steal my own. When I stole mine, then I'll know stealing is not good. So that's our problem. Society, we created the problem.
Thank God. This is a party.
Yeah.
I still want to believe
that the government does.
I'm not really shifting the whole blame on government.
Someone
has to give direction.
It should be government.
Mostly it's always government.
You can never listen.
Sorry, sir.
I'm coming.
Listen. Okay, sir.
The current Senate president.
Yes, sir.
Until he becomes a senator, nobody knows him. Until they publish his name that he won election from Yobe State, nobody knows him. Only the people that knows him over there that knows him. People of Lagos here, we don't know him. But he became a senator because the first of all voted for all of them to go to Senate as a senator. Then they voted to elect their leader. The same thing with the speaker.
Mentioning that, sir, that man now is giving direction to younger generation.
To
younger generation.
Who's giving direction?
At his place. To everyone now in Nigeria.
Because
he's not a good man.
No. Because we empowered that office.
Who did?
We created
we the people.
By scroll of arrangement, we said, well, we are running presidential system of government, and in the parliament, this is what we will do: create leadership, and when we have leader, Senate president, we have deputy, we have majority, we have minority. We create all those offices.
Now,
as a rule to govern the house.
One man as you have just enumerated, that singular man, that the current Senate president, we see him now as a good man.
I don't know which area you're saying.
We see him now. We see him now as a leader. Sorry, not good man. I guess the right word is.
We see him as a leader. He's a good man. Yes.
Okay. Now, to us now, we have elected him to be our leader.
We want him to do wonders.
No, we expect him now to give direction.
No, he wants to give direction.
So such is the way I want to see government giving us direction.
Listen, government can give direction. Government don't create crime. But you will see that criminals are among the people that sat down to educate on law for us, including judges. Do you want to say to me everybody are plainly good, or are they all truly bad? No. As we have good ones, we have bad ones. Everybody, among our children, some of my children are good. Some of my siblings that we share same parents, some are good, some are bad. Some of our friends are fantastically good, some are bad. That's society for you. If we don't have people that offended us, nobody will say sorry. Nobody will will give apology. We can't all be plain. But that's not what we want to talk about. What I want to talk about is certain things will set government. It's us. If we, all of us, if we are people with one plain mind to say we want to turn around the economy of this state, Lagos, or we want to turn the economy of Nigeria around, and we call ourselves club, and we give conditions to say anybody who's going to be this club, first of all, must have three things. What? You must have established business, you must have money to put down here as a security, and you must have money at all times that anytime there's need for us to contribute money to do something, you must be buoyant enough to be part of it. So on that basis, we allow you to join us to be our member. And the first rule is there's going to be a business in Yobe State. We want to go there, our club wants to go there to establish, this time, steel industry. The factory we are constructing cost us 2 billion. We are 20 members. Each member 100 million. First, then we'll talk about the rest later. What they expect of each of us is to put down the 100 million. When we put down 100 million naira, you are a bona fide member. If you cannot put, and they keep pushing, you don't do anything, we are -1. It won't take time before they vote that whoever is not paying among us should be excused. So, that is how many businesses today were being established. Behind the scene, you know, free education, and that's what turned their life around. Their parents could not afford to give them good education until they advent of free education of Awolowo and stuff. So a whole lot of people are so grateful to the soul of Awolowo. He turned them around to be what they are. Many like that. Did the country really pay Awolowo good and well? To a larger number of the Western people, no, they did not pay Awolowo well. Because it wasn't truly given what he deserved. After Awolowo, Yoruba race, another luck smiled on us. One man called, they called MK Abiola. To a whole lot of you people, when they were so young in school, I'm sure you must have read a lot about Abiola's contribution to Educational Trust Fund. He did well. I've never seen any individual, maybe they do that on the ground, but who have come open to give money to Federal University, give money to Federal College of Technology and College of Education, and he jumped to state. He did the same thing to state. He gave state College of Education, state university, he gave them money. Whatever the sum of money he gave at that time, whatever it is one help or the other. 500,000 naira at that particular time is as good as 500 million as at now. That's what he gave to them. 1 million he shared among all state university at that time is over 100 million. We'll talk about it now. So someone like that step forward to the president of Nigeria. It is we people that condemn Awolowo. It is we that condemn MK Abiola. Now we're having that opportunity on Asiwaju too. We don't want to accept. Either we hate him or we like him. Some like him, some hate him. If you ask 10 people that hate Asiwaju today, come and tell us why they hate Asiwaju. 9 might not generally come out with one direct thing to say this is why I hate Asiwaju. They will just be saying, they said he did this, they said he did that, they said this, they said that. But don't forget, we were talking the other time, I said, the people that made this country to be what the country is today, they contributed money to build the country. When states that were newly created in the last 40 years were created, it is the duty of some wealthy ones among us in those states that step forward to give their property to house government offices. Some give their land for government to be able to build secretariat or build university or this. Awolowo at that time we learned he donated the whole of his library to be used as law library of Obafemi Awolowo University. That was why they honored him and gave him the name of that. They named that university after him, Obafemi Awolowo University, or something like that. So, those are the things we're talking about. Some journalists in the past, some individuals who are journalists in the past, when they were building NUJ, they come together to do something. When they were doing NIJ, Institute of Journalists, they come there to do certain things. Some accept to endow some chairs and they follow it to the letter, and that's why today they become the doyen of that industry and people talk about them. I guess we don't have that in this anymore. If we do, that's how society is built. So people that does that, we don't forget them. When goodies now come, they will be the first among the people that we will have to call upon to say, come and benefit this. If any of their children step forward tomorrow to become the governor, they will consider them more than anything. What we are saying in other words is, this hand must join hand to help this hand to become what it is. So look at among the Yorubas of today, we have a whole lot of people. There are a lot of sons and daughters of Yoruba land who can aspire to be the president of Nigeria if they say it's the turn of the Yoruba. But when we're looking at someone that really encouraged and did well to lift other people up, we talk about Awolowo, we talk about Abiola. Tinubu is never left behind. Not until his haters come out to talk against him. Nobody ever knew that Dele Alake wasn't from Lagos. was from one state outside Lagos. Not until when there are troubles, nobody even dare to say Rauf Aregbe is not from Lagos, he's from Osun State. But when he was there in Alimosho area, when he was doing all goodies, when he was contributing, when he was doing this and that, nobody said at that time that don't contribute here, go and build Osun. You see, this is what we are saying. Honorable Faleke, everybody that knows Faleke knows where he lives and what he does around that area. He did well. Another time, he wanted to contest for a higher office, then he goes to Kogi State. Then I said, he's from Kogi, he's not from Lagos anymore. This is Nigeria. The Constitution of America never said you are from East, West, North, or South. It says you're an American. So, until we all leave that side of segregation, that we accept that you are Philip Effiong. Philip Effiong was born in Surulere and is a freeborn of Lagos. Until then, until we don't judge our name to say your father's name must be those names we knew of Surulere before you can claim you are from Lagos. Until then, Pa Odumegwu Ojukwu, the father of Emeka Ojukwu, lives at Lagos Island there at Oshodi Street. When we were small, we used to go to his house to play in front of his house. That's where he built, he bond the like of Emeka and others. This is Nigeria. Until we stop saying all that, somebody to call us. And to call her. Tell me, if Toepe is a trademark to be able to identify where it comes from, so be it. So I'm going to call her what is the share? No, it's wrong. In relation to me participating in politics, I am an individual that has every right to do whatever I want to do, regardless of the fact I'm a musician. I have a right. And I doubted if because I'm a musician, my right is taken away from me. No. When it comes to matter of where I belong, that should not be a problem of anybody. When it comes to where I'm important as a singer, anybody that loves me should accept me and goes along with me along that line. I can't force people. I can only voice. When I voice, if it doesn't catch you, it doesn't catch you. If it catches you, it catches you. That's the way we should see it. It should not be any problem. It should not bring any issue.